Hello, everyone, and welcome to Everest Ice and Water. Today, I'm here with one of our customers, Tom Kenyon, and we're going to talk to him about what his experience has been like thus far owning multiple Everest machines. So, Mr. Kenyon, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Andrew. Looking forward to it.
So, what's the name of your company?
I'm a partner in a company called Coastal Water and Ice.
And where is your company located?
We're located in the Delmarva area, Delaware. We go through Delaware down through the Eastern Shore of Maryland.
Oh, wow. So you have a pretty large area of operation in a coastal area.
Yeah, that's the territory that we cover. Our actual headquarters is in Delaware, the state of Delaware.
Oh, very cool. The first state. Very nice. So is ice and water vending your only business?
Yes, it is.
And what made you decide to get into the ice and water vending industry?
It's an interesting story. Going back about 4 years ago now, my son was in one of the Carolinas fishing, and he came across an ice machine and came back and told me about it. And he said, this is pretty interesting. He said, there doesn't seem to be anything like this by us, and this might be a business you might want to look into, because I was looking to start something. Looked into the entire industry, spent about a year looking into it, interviewing people, just trying to get a temperature on the proposed clientele that would be interested in having one of these machines on their properties. And there was a strong interest. And so through my research, looking throughout the industry, I made a decision that for what I wanted to do, Everest was the top company. It was the top pick for me, just based on the size of the machine, the flexibility of the machine, and the comfort level that I had with the company itself, as far as business dealings that we had. Now, at that time, I was going to be starting the business and working it with my son, John. And my son is a tugboat captain and was actually transferred to a different part where he wouldn't be around as much, with his schedule. So I couldn't do it. And it's something that I just couldn't do myself. And then I guess going back now about a year and a half ago, I happened to be having dinner with a friend, and we were talking about a business, and I had mentioned to him about the ice business. And he looked and he said, well, that's interesting. He said, because going back about 2 years ago, I looked into the same business. He said, I didn't do it. I'm not sure why I didn't do it, but let's compare notes. So we did. We looked at each other's proposed business plans, and they were very similar. So we decided to go partners in this business, and that's how we got started.
Man, that almost sounds like destiny, like fate.
Yeah, right.
Did you research any other companies that manufacture their own machines, or was Everest just the first one you came across?
No. I looked at every company at the time that had machines, ice machines in the market. The other machines were larger than the Everest machine. I wanted something that was transportable in case it didn't work in one spot. We could relocate it to another spot. I wanted to be flexible that way. And the fact that the size of the machine, it's a little bit larger than your typical vending machine, soda vending machine, and the storage capacity in it and the output, the production output from the machine was something that was very interesting to me as well. So with the type of clients that we have here and that we're looking to source, the activity, the production activity from these machines kind of fit right in with the type of clientele that we're looking to work with. So, you've got some locations that are really high power, and they produce a lot of ice. They need a lot of ice. We're not looking to market in that kind of an area right now. We're looking at a certain size client, and these machines seem to be right in line with what we wanted to cover.
So what made you decide to choose Everest as your manufacturer, and was there one single feature that kind of influenced that decision?
Well, again, it was the size of the machine. It was the flexibility in the machine. It was the machine's capacity fit in with our footprint and our customer base that we're looking at. And also, I felt very comfortable with Everest, with the staff at Everest. The management team that I worked with through the sales side were right on, spot on. They were very flexible, very willing to work with us. And also in the operations side at Everest, the individuals that are responsible for the technology piece, the advertising marketing piece, they all kind of came together, and it was a good match. Before we went forward, I didn't physically meet the individuals, but we did have Zoom sessions and meetings like that. But I just got I got a real comfort level from working with them. They're at the time they're a small company, and they were eager to partner with us and to work with us as likewise. And I think being that they were at the time a relatively new company. I mean, they were there for a number of years in the marketplace, but I think that that was very helpful for us, because there were certain changes we wanted to make, certain things we wanted to do that I don't think we would have gotten that from the other companies.
Yeah, definitely. Even in my time here at Everest, I've seen that they are very reactive. They're very open to working with customers on certain things. So even as someone who was new to the company, I saw that and I knew that this is different. This is not the normal ice and water vending machine manufacturer. This is something a little different. It operates almost like a tech company. So how many machines did you purchase from Everest?
We purchased a total of 20 machines. We had, in 2021, we had 18 of the 20 in place for operations, and 2 machines we'll be taking delivery on shortly.
So what was the buying process like? Was it pretty simple, pretty straightforward? Were there any speed bumps?
At the time, we were trying to push to get the production of the machines sped up as quickly as we could, because, like I said, we just started the business a little over a year ago, and we wanted to get the machines in during the season, because in Delaware here, we're limited season-wise. Our season is probably, I'd say, in the area between 6 and 7 months. So we knew that when we put the machines in place, that the machines, we would be winterizing the machines, shutting them down and winterizing them, for five months out of the year. So, on the sales side, the individuals we dealt with there were very good, very helpful. There were some production delays, but that had absolutely nothing to do with Everest. I mean, it just had to do with the materials in the marketplace, the supply chain. That was frustrating for us a little bit. But then again, on our end, we were just gaining clientele. And, there were times where we needed to hold off on having a delivery made because I didn't have contracts signed yet.
Wow. And
they were willing to do that, and they did that. And we worked very closely with them and with the trucking companies, and it worked out. The sales side, what's interesting and what's very helpful is that they've got information, they've got data on every aspect of their equipment and other competitors as well. But the training that's available through Everest on these machines, through video, or if you wanted to go there, we did actually go to the facility to go through the machines, and we spent about a day doing that with them. But the machines, as technically advanced as they are, they're not complex, and there are very few moving parts, and it was a good experience. But any issue that we had with the machines, their staff was right there, very responsive, right there to support any concerns that we had, and they had videos on everything. So if you're running into a problem with something, boom, they would email you a quick, 2-minute video, and it detailed what needed to be done to correct the problem. And I'm not mechanically inclined, but we seem to have been okay. It worked out very well.
So after you've had these machines for a while, it's been probably 7 or 8 months since you started taking delivery of some of the machines?
Yeah, our first delivery was the end of April.
Okay. Oh, wow. So we're coming up on a year already, almost.
Yeah.
What is the service been like afterwards?
They added staff to their customer service end, which was very helpful for us. But we shut our machines down the end of October, and right up to that point, any issues we were having with the machines, the company was very responsive in getting back to us. So, and they gave us the option. You can work and try to get through these issues with us, or you can go and we can connect you to the manufacturer of that particular part, and you can work with them. And I did that a couple of times, but for the most part, I worked directly with the Everest staff, and they were very good.
Without giving away too many secrets, what are some of the processes that you've been through on, how you find locations for your machines and how you decide where to put the machines in your area?
Yeah, well, actually, we changed our business plan. Our original business plan was to put the machines in areas that had a lot of activity. A lot of drive-by activity. Could be a gas station, it could be liquor stores, it could be a mini market, convenience stores, things like that, marinas, and that was the original plan. So we did that, and that's exactly where we put our machines. But then we started looking at the type of clientele that was buying the product from those locations, and it was the type of clientele that was really just interested in, grabbing the ice, throwing the ice in their cooler, keeping whatever's in the cooler cold, which is fine, and there's definitely a market for that. But we started finding that the product that was coming out of that machine was far superior than what you're going to get, in your typical ice box. So we ran a couple of tests. I had a machine at a marina, and I had gotten a lot of feedback from a lot of the anglers. It's an area where there's a lot of commercial fishing and charter boats. And, these guys are coming back and they're emailing me and contacting me and saying, it's interesting because, I go fishing, I get your ice in the morning, I go fishing, I come back and I still have a cooler of ice in my container. I said, I generally don't have that. And so I ran a test. And, I ran a test comparing our ice to your typical bagged ice. And our ice did last significantly longer. I would say more than 50% longer than the product.
Wow! And
if you look at your typical ice in an ice bag, there's some gray in it. It's oxygen. It's nothing harmful or anything like that. But it tends to break down quicker versus ice coming out of the machine. It goes through a filtration process, and a lot of impurities are taken out of that. And it's a clear piece of ice. You don't see any oxygen buildup in that. And at least the test that I ran, it lasted longer. And the feedback that I've gotten from people is that it does. It's a very superior product.
Man, I love to hear that. If you're going to give someone some inside tips on starting an ice business, or if there was something that you wish you knew before you jumped into this, what would you say to someone who's looking to get into the ice and water vending industry?
Well, I would say with this type of technology, I would say what you want to make sure you're working with is the right company. You want to make sure that you're partnering with a company that you have confidence in, that they're going to be there for you and they're going to help you and they're going to service you well. You want to take a good look at the quality of the product that's coming out of the machine. You want to make sure that it is a superior product and you can talk to that. And you really want to take a very, very strong look at your customer base that you want to go after. Okay, and if you're looking to get into this as a business, developing a sound business plan and identifying the type of client that you want to work with is critical. Okay, it makes the world a difference. All right, when you've got your plan together and you're going after this and you're saying, okay, this is the type of client that I'm looking for, and you're not going to get that right away. You're going to have to go through a lot of interviewing. I mean, I interviewed so many different businesses and people. I spent a year doing this, and and I thought I had it. Really, we thought we had the right customer base, and then we decided, midway through this, that, let's rethink this, because I think there's more of an opportunity if we shift to this type of client. And And that's important because you want to be comfortable. You want to make sure that the establishment's comfortable with you, and you want to make sure the people that are buying it are people that are going to keep coming back to that same machine. That's important.
To stay adaptable and be okay with change, and the mobility of the machine, being able to pick it up and move it, really adds to that for sure.
Yeah, that's it for us. That was a critical piece.
Are you planning on expanding? Do you think that purchasing more machines is something that's in the business plan for the future?
We're hoping. We're hoping. What we did is we relocated some machines because they said we changed our business plan, and we decided to look at a different type of clientele. We wanted to focus more on a clientele that was more concerned with the product itself, the quality of the product, versus just the fact that you're keeping something cold inside of a cooler. And one other thing too I want to mention, we intentionally identified our company as Coastal Water and Ice. We put water in front of the ice piece in our branding, and we did that for a reason. Because in at least in our area, and I'm sure it's everywhere, people are very concerned with the water that they're putting on the kitchen table. It means a lot to them, and they're concerned about the ice that they're putting in the drinks. And we thought that by changing it around a little bit and identifying it as water first, ice second, we wanted to attract people that are interested in that. Interested in pure product, and it seemed to have worked. With that, we rearranged our business model. Okay, our focus now is not so much on the quick grab and buy type people. You have a machine at a gas station. Sure, that gas station may sell a lot of ice, but at the same time, people are more interested in getting gas, grabbing a couple of bags of ice out of a box, throw it in their cooler, and off they go. They don't want to take the time to walk around the corner, to get ice out of the machine. And it would have happened, it would have worked out, but in many of those locations, the owner of the establishment was going to remove the ice box from the property once our machine was in place and up and running. But they decided not to do that. They decided to keep both. And we thought, well, gee, that's not really going to work out for us then, because we're looking to be, number one, we're looking to be the sole provider of this product on your interior establishment. So, we branched out and we went after a more, I don't want to say more sophisticated client or customer, but we went after a client base that is interested in the quality of the water and the quality of the ice that they're receiving. And they'll go out of their way to purchase it versus, hopping in their car and going to a gas station or going to a convenience store and just, I need a bag of ice, let's go. So because once people use the machine once or twice, it's a very easy machine to use, and it's quick. I mean, it drops 10 pounds of ice in 6 seconds. It doesn't get much quicker than that.
That ain't bad. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to talk to me about this. Click the link in the description below or send an email to sales@everesticeandwater.com to speak with an equipment specialist today.